back, everyone, to yet another exciting session coming up this afternoon at India Affiliate Summit. This year, a very special IAS contest has been announced, wherein a special prize worth of rupees 1 lakh ad inventory is planned to be extended to 4 very lucky winners. We will be announcing the names of those lucky winners at the end of day 2, so stay tuned. With that, I would like to move on to our next session. Our next session is a panel discussion on the topic Digital Media and Transparency and Oxymoron. For the same, I would like to welcome Ms. Garima Dutt. Garima is a new media consultant, independent journalist, and teacher based out of New Delhi. She is the founder director of Yellow Studio, a small digital and content marketing firm. And I would now request Garima to please take over the session to introduce the panel. Thank you.
Thank you, Garima, from one Garima to another. I know it is going to be lunch hour, and for a lot of people, this could be the lunch hour, but bear with us. We have something very interesting coming up. As Garima introduced the session, I would just like to probably open up the session with these lines that the internet marketing, and more specifically the affiliate marketing, has changed immensely. It's become more complex than ever before. There are advertisers to scale up, to reach out to maximum potential customers. There are a number of affiliates, networks, publishers, intermediaries which are in the fray today, who would want to connect to the advertisers, and there are obviously the intermediaries are connecting the advertisers with the publisher, and this is further the business game, convoluted the entire market system. The challenges are enormous. The challenges of budget spills, the publishers probably at times feeling they do not get their due, the advertisers not getting the right and enough amount of audiences, and more importantly, the transparency which both the advertisers and publishers wish for. So this discussion is around how digital ecosystems, the two pillars of advertisers and publishers, can work in tandem with complete transparency. And we have something very interesting that we are going to unveil. Our session sponsor is AdPub Social. And I would like to now invite Mukesh Bajpai, co-founder and CEO of Pointific Digital. And our panelists for this session are Debraj, Tripathy, independent consultant and ex-managing director, Mediacom SEA. Manish, Mahajan, associate VP, digital marketing and e-commerce, Max Life Insurance. And Gaurav, Suri, senior EVP and head of marketing, UTI Mutual Fund. I welcome all of you, and I would like to hand over the reins of the session to Mr. Bajpai. Mukesh, please take it up from here, and all yours now.
Thank you, Garima. Thank you very much, and welcome to all the panelists. Welcome Manish. Welcome Debraj. Welcome Gaurav. Thank you for being here. Thank you for pulling out time for this session. As the topic clearly says, that digital media and transparency, is it an oxymoron? So can we all work? The two key pillars. The advertiser and the publisher, can we all work in tandem with a lot of transparency, or do we actually need mediators? So this is actually a long question for a long time, more than a decade, wherein everybody keeps on thinking that whether we can work directly or not, what are the pros and cons, what a value add each of these two pillars can actually add to each other and growth. And the questions or the queries that I have are based upon the last 10 years of queries which have been coming either from the publishers or coming from the advertisers. And one of these questions is that there's a lot of transparency that we can keep on talking about, and there are three sides of the transparency. One is coming from the advertiser, one is coming from the publisher, one is coming from the consumer or the customer. Consumer, definitely we do not have any hold on to that. Having said that, in your view, can there be a transparency between the advertiser and the publisher? So this is something, a bigger question which I would ask the panelists, that how we can actually work in tandem.
Yeah. So Mukesh, Gaurav here. Let me give a shot at this.
Sure.
So I think it's important to set context in saying, at least from my perspective as a business owner, transparency really is ability to make good informed media decisions when I have accurate, robust data and information, including financial data, right? I think the big challenge in this space is because it leads itself naturally because of its interactivity to measurability is absence of good standards. The media supply chain, at least in the digital side, has poor standards. It's like, marking your own homework. So in my experience, or at least, while a lot of work has happened in the last 2 years, whether it is ANA, MMA or MRC, in setting standards, reducing ad fraud, I think the challenge, and when I look at it, maybe it's like a dinosaurish kind of a talk, but when I look at traditional media buying versus digital, I think one of the reasons why there is a little bit more trust established in the existing practice is because of independent monitoring sources. I don't see that, so either it is aggregation by the publisher or aggregation by the media house, which leads to some suspicion on availability of inventory, underlying platform fees, uh, basically a fully auditable supply chain. So it's a task. I think it will build a lot more trust for the ecosystem, especially for smaller advertisers like us, when we shift more monies to digital. And in a shrinking margin scenario, it's even more important that we utilize all our monies is if we can build this ecosystem.
Okay, that was actually nicely put up, the actual problems. Anything from you, Debraj or Gaurav? Sorry.
So for me, I think.
Manish.
So for me, I think that you speak about both the sides, which is the marketer as well as the publisher. Requirements or understanding of transparency is actually slightly different. Right? From a marketer side, I would say it consists of essentially three buckets. One is pricing. So what is the it has, right? And which is the actual is price inventory at so pricing that is actually to start with offering to them. That one big bucket. Uh,
I think there's
the
some
guy
connectivity issue.
Yeah, you can hear me now?
We can hear somewhere. Yeah.
So the second about placement. Placement essentially means who owns the inventory, right? Is the inventory owned by the right? Open to being right, open to stating where is the inventory being placed, right? So that is the big bucket of placement. The third big bucket, I think, is about data, which is all linked back to ad fraud. I mean,
Right.
with are you actually are compatible? We got opt-ins to be able to serve my ad, right? That entire thing is about what is the transparency issues which happens at the marketers end, at the so publishers end. I think there are two issues. First issue is saying if I am having it sold at ₹100, how much is it being actually to start with being offered to really to the client at the end of the day, right? Is that gap an acceptable gap, or is it so huge that I'm actually starting to lose out on basic revenue that I could make, right? So that's one part of it. The next big issue that he has is saying when I get feedback from either an aggregator or a client saying, okay, we got leads from you, let's say for example, but those were bad leads. What is good and to start with what is bad? How trustworthy is the feedback that I'm being able to get either from the marketer or from the aggregator, right? So started from his basic point of view, I think the two big issues are these, right? And exactly like so Gaurav indicated, frankly, this whole thing happens is because we do not have a third-party system of saying whether things are happening the way they should happen. Whether somebody will be able to certify saying, yes, one ad appeared. Yes, you got a basic lead, and that lead actually got a result, right?
Right.
Some of these might be difficult to do. The industry will have to attempt to be able to do that, to be able to specifically create a clear and transparent supply chain, which we do not have.
Right.
That's my.
Anything from Manish on this? Hello. Okay. Okay. So what we gathered here between
Am I audible now? Hi.
you're
Hi.
audible. Yes. 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 Yes.
Sorry, I was on mute. I didn't realize it.
No,
Uh,
no problem.
so Mukesh, I think thank you, Debraj and Gaurav. I think all the main points are well covered. Quickly, just taking a little side view to it as to what it is about, because the topic is transparency. Transparency is equal to trust, which is the foundation to any relation that we talk about. And from an advertiser standpoint, if you will talk about 90% of the total spends, digital media spends are being covered and taken care by Facebook or Google's, the two giants. Only the 10 to 15% is coming to the affiliate side. The question is, why is that so limited? That is largely because if you go back and try to nail it out, you will find that there have been a challenge with respect to both the parties being dissatisfied in their own terms. And transparency in the current scheme of things has become more important than ever, because COVID is trying to push every CFO to ask questions where the money is being spent and what is the ROI and what mediums to spend on. Here the trust comes in, and there people are now saying, am I better off spending this money to Google and Facebook because I get better flexibility, I get a better control, and at the same time I'm prevented from the ad frauds, largely, which is now increasing on very rapid pace, because there is a sort of trust that these two companies have come forward and try to solve for the advertisers. Now, this is the position slightly changed when it's about affiliate. Out there, rightly mentioned by Debraj, it is more about, we are not aware about where the placements of the ads, where are they shown, who is it shown to. We know the vanity metrics are very well captured, CTR, clicks, leads. However, the further collaboration is what, from an advertiser standpoint, we are requiring more collaboration. I mean, if these vanity metrics are not working, then it does not mean we should stop. We need to come forward and understand what will it take for us to solve for that. And there where I think for me the transparency in terms of pricing, which is rightly captured, about collaboration, flexibility to manage my own campaigns, and a greater detail of collaboration with respect to going beyond just the matrix which are being controlled and looked upon by as in whole outcome driven for the advertiser. And from the on the other side, from the publisher side, it is more about understanding, मेरे को feedback तो मिलता है that the leads are poor and I don't get the regular data, and even if I get the regular data, I don't know what happened on that data when I change certain matrix, when I change my TG, what is happening, good or not. So it's a two-way street rather, not just a one-way street.
Very nicely, I think, put by all of you. And what I see is that there were certain more questions to be asked, but I think most of the things have been covered here. That's what I saw. And what I gathered was like pure media, independent monitoring system when it comes to traditional media, put by Gaurav. Then Debraj was talking about pricing issues, ad fraud, which you also mentioned about the. Debraj also mentioned about GDPR, opt-ins, feedback, basically feedback. How can you actually trust in the feedback which is coming from the client? Then so many, so many certainly stakeholders coming up, and then after the challenges that you actually find in getting satisfied versus the spends are there. So I think a lot of points have been covered. This is the point wherein, so I was thinking of, starting showing something at a later, after certain questions, but I think a lot of things have been already covered. This is the point wherein I would like to play a video. Okay, I'll share my screen. I'll play a video. Let us just go through it. And this is for all of us basically. And let's see that, what this video actually brings out. Just give me one moment. Can you guys see my screen here? I think I was trying to play a video. 1 second.
We can see your screen, Mukesh. Yes.
1 second. Somehow. Okay, there we go. So this is the
A good
one.
impression builds credibility. Hence, advertisers pour millions into promoting their products to the right customers. Likewise, the publishers who have painstakingly built the right content and groomed the audience seek the right price for their media inventory. Both of them want better value for money and equitable offers. But all is not well here. Mediators between the publishers and advertisers add multiple hops and take away transparency. Thus, the marketeers fail to get the right audience at the right price. Also, publishers get a very small fraction of the actual advertiser budget. On one hand, advertisers fail to meet up their sales target and incur losses. Publishers earn pretty little and resort to shortcuts or cutbacks on investment on content buildup. This greatly affects the growth and profitability of both advertisers and publishers. The whole digital marketing industry suffers. Introducing AdPub.social. AdPub.social is a platform created for people like you who have faced similar challenges in the market across the world. Here, advertisers and publishers get direct access to each other, cutting through the maze of networks. Advertisers, for the first time, get to see where their ads are running, which ensures the right audience buildup. For publishers, after every campaign, their quality of work is stored in a blockchain network. This quality of work is called proof of reputation. This helps other advertisers to discover, trust, and work with good publishers to optimize their campaigns. Publishers with higher reputations can take up better offers and hence increase their revenues. Publishers get visibility of the campaigns from the offer wall at the price point and KPI directly from the advertisers. Confirmation reports are directly from advertisers. Payments are on time. Add or reduce as many partners as you want. Track performances. Deal directly with complete transparency. Proof of reputation. That is the quality of publishers' work is stored in blockchain and completely auditable, the first in the ad tech world. It also has a user-friendly dashboard and more, ensuring smooth optimization and operation. AdPub.social welcomes all industry entities as part of the blockchain to bring in complete authenticity and long-term benefit for the industry. We also guide advertisers and publishers about the changing trends of the market and help them gain mutually. Welcome to the brave new world of digital marketing. Visit www.adpub.social now.
So
Lovely.
yeah.
That's a lovely video, Mukesh. Thank you so much. And I think there are many questions. There are more questions that would be coming your way. Probably the panelists and our attendees or the audiences, but would request every one of you to hold on to that. Mukesh, it would be wonderful if you explain to us the nuances of this product, especially this new phrase that we heard in the video, the proof of reputation.
So basically, all this while we have been talking about, we have been trusting our media based upon the CTRs or let's say videos, the CTR coming from videos. So, or let's say the placement where we are placing the media. Also, we were talking about, we have actually talked about big publishers, smart, small publishers, different kind of sources, channels, etc., etc. Now, all the panelists talked about only one thing in general. It was about the trust actually, where my ad was placed, where whether I was actually getting satisfied versus spent whatever I have done so far. Am I getting the right reports? Am I using the right source? A lot of different kind of things, and we do this every day, and especially in performance, and everything is actually moving towards performance. And all this while, the key stakeholder, so agency does its job, client does their job. Then after there are different stakeholders, but publisher happens to be an integral key also. So long back it was Times of India, let's say, or NDTVs of the world. But today the media, for example, in TikTok also we have generated so much of media, so much of owned and operated content, let's say, and we all love this content. We all want this content to be used, but how we are going to use it, what will be the proof of reputation of this? So a publisher who is actually working for you, is there a proof of reputation? Is there something which basically helps us stamp that this is something which is actually going in the right direction. And this is where I think this is a new jargon that we are bringing to this industry, which is proof of reputation. All this while we have heard about CPM, CPC, CP, CPTs, etc., etc. If the panelists allow me, I would like to show you a couple of slides also, which will help you understand how we are going to build the proof of reputation and what this is all about. So give me just one moment and I'll show you the presentation, which basically helps you understand things in a much better fashion. One second, give me one moment, please. Can you all see my screen?
We can.
Yes.
Great, great. So basically, what is happening in the ecosystem that in AdPub Social, we are saying that advertisers and publishers are going to transact directly, and everything basically is going to be verifiable in the blockchain technology. Having said that, there have been always two issues, and which we have already discussed. One is transparency, one is trust. Now, what is happening is advertisers are actually on a certain price sending the campaigns to these publishers, and then after the publishers are executing the campaign, post that the confirmation report comes in directly. Now in adpub.social, normally what happens, it never comes directly. In certain cases it comes directly, but most of the cases it doesn't. In adpub.social, what happens, it comes directly to the publisher via and every publisher basically gets a proof of reputation. In further slides, we will be seeing that how this is calculated. Now, what happens basically, advertisers discovers more publishers based on proof of reputation. So the system has got, so we are giving liberty to the advertiser to choose the publishers based upon the industry, based upon their scale, based upon their size, competencies, etc., etc. And this is actually based upon, especially on the proof of reputation which is there. So there is a star rating which is given to each and every publisher. Based upon that, they can actually start choosing. And this cycle simply continues. So basically transparency comes by connecting the advertiser and publisher directly, so there is no ambiguity, etc., that whom I am going to deal with. Everything, only the large one but not the small ones. At the same time, proof of reputation on blockchain, this is something which is stamped. This gives you trust that all that is happening between the two entities, it's getting recorded. It is not going to be tampered, changed, or anything. It remains there. Any change, it is recorded once again. Now, this is something which is important, which I wanted to show you. This is proof of reputation table, I would say. Now here, this is a publisher page wherein the publisher's proof of reputation is mentioned. The publisher sees that in each campaign, so this is the place wherein they can see the average proof of reputation for themselves, aggregation, and then after, this is the page wherein for each campaign, the proof of reputation is recorded. The advertiser can actually see this. Publisher can actually see each campaign, how they have performed in the past, and this is stored in the blockchain. So there is a skin in the game now added. It's not only the media, it's nothing else. It's the skin in the game, and how we are encouraging them to maintain better and better. So this is the basically the the part. Once again, I think I have messed up with the. Give me one moment. I'll just go back. Yeah. So this is where basically we do the calculation. So this is something like a percentile, wherein let's say in one of the offers there were 20 guys who were actually working, or let's say they were running or executing the campaign, out of which let's say two were doing some very good job. So we say that between 2 to 3 sigma, whosoever it is, gets a score of 5 star. Less than that gets 4 star, 3 star, 2 star, 1 star. So this is basically a percentile method wherein we are saying that from -2 to -1 sigma, and then the curve basically starts going up, and then so this is where you get less number. So you will have less number of publishers in 5 star and more number in 4, and then after 3, etc., etc. So this is where we are. So based upon the confirmation, the proof of reputation is getting stored in the blockchain system. So whenever the advertiser comes on the platform and looking for some very good publishers, so he can actually start filtering with the on the basis of proof of reputation. This is how it is built in the blockchain system. Is there any query around this? Any question around this, Manish, Gaurav, or Debraj?
No, I think
This is okay.
this new currency proof of reputation is gonna be really different and very good, because if it picks up, it's gonna be very nice. I think this is what people are looking for.
Trust. At the same time, transparency, basically, people should know that, what I have spent, was that worth or not? At the same time, do I get a choice or not? So tomorrow I go to a mall, I have a choice that what brand I want to buy. Nobody is, thirsting anything on us. No thrust is there. Okay, no pressure is there. So this is what we are trying to bring in. Complete democracy, come into the system, choose your kind of publisher whom you want to work with. It can be based upon the industry, it can be based upon the scale, source, and then after, most importantly, the trust comes from the proof of reputation. And we are pushing the publisher to, encouraging them to build, make it better and better as much as they can. Outside of that, the most important part is that the data is stored in one source. So that means that whatever data is getting collected here, this is from the advertiser as well as this goes to the publisher. This is coming from one source. This is getting stored in one source. That's the most important part. There is no exchanging of data from one CRM to a different CRM. It is in one platform. Outside of that, so that means there is no tampering happening. This is stored blockchain. It cannot be changed. Any change can be seen. Plus, what we are also trying to do here is we will be getting this audited from top four, let's say, one of the top four auditing agencies, which is a third party agency, and we will be publishing this as well. So this will become a complete foolproof system wherein, one can, rely on this overall system and start believing in the system. And this is how the proof of reputation starts functioning, comes into play. That which is the most important thing. Moving on to the other slide, so this is how, this is an example we have given. Let's say confirmation, based on confirmation, there are 2 stars. Based on quality of traffic, so because there is a fraud detection tool at the back end already placed, so another 2 stars, and another 1 star for responsiveness, which means that if the advertiser has chosen somebody, that person should react to it instantly, because there can be a case then when the advertiser is waiting for somebody to launch the campaign. So one should not take it very casually. It should be so the environment should remain very professional. It should not be casual. The way it is happening, an email is sent and somebody is not replying. We do not want that. Now this is the advertiser's page. The advertiser can actually choose in this format. So let's say these are all the publishers in the ecosystem. So based upon the proof of reputation, the advertiser can actually choose. Now here we have shown that these are wish lists. So there is a wish list that I want to have this publisher. The advertiser can actually add a wish list. Then next time I would like to add this guy also. So they can add, eliminate, pause, shift budget based upon proof of reputation. That's one. At the same time, if you see the combination or the permutation and combination at which you can work, this guy has a lot of scale, but the proof of reputation is less. This guy has good proof of reputation, but the scale is less. But this guy has okay scale, which is less than this one and more than this one, but the proof of reputation is high. So this is chosen. At the same time, how we are encouraging publishers to maintain the proof of reputation, we are saying that the best of the lucrative offers you will be able to actually choose only when you have good proof of reputation. So if you have good media, you can be trusted. You can see all the offers. Having said that, but you will not be able to apply on those offers. But yes, if the advertiser wants to apply, or sorry, choose this publisher, they definitely are free to do that. But publisher cannot unless they have good proof of reputation.
Mukesh, we're just left with 5 minutes. I mean, if we could probably show all of this in the demo, which is set aside outside of this live, that would be wonderful. Right. I have a few questions for the panelists, and Garima, my co-host, has graciously forwarded them to me. So quickly, if we could answer them, and maybe we could do the stop, the screen sharing should stop, and we could all be back.
So barely 30 seconds I'll need. So for the panelists, this is the important page wherein we say that you can do all the optimization in one page. You can bring in your external tracking tools also here. Plus at the same time, let's say you have 10 sources, you can see the performance of all 10 sources on one page. start making decisions based upon these reports. It will help you in taking the decision, shifting of budgets, etc. This was one important part, so I thought I'll just add. Yeah.
So
So
yeah, so I have questions, and I'm probably you would want to you just do the stop sharing first. That'll be wonderful. Thank
yeah.
you. Yeah. So as an agency, we are seeing private. Are you seeing advertisers for more quality audiences, and how is that being addressed? And how can one build trust in digital for traditional advertisers? And with click farms, bots, and ad frauds and other non-human traffic, what is the industry doing to provide better quality impressions? And I'm just taking all of them up. Maybe you could summarize it. You have already summarized them, but any one of the panelists, I think this is an important question: building trust in traditional advertisers, and how are advertisers seeing? I mean, maybe Gaurav would like to take it. How are you seeing advertisers for more quality audiences, and how that is being addressed? And with click farms, bots, and other non-human traffic, what is the other industry doing to provide better quality impressions? What will be the recent development globally on the changes instituted by companies like Apple and Google for digital transparency?
I do not think that in such a short time I can answer everything, but I can tell you the basics that we are already, so we are we have already reduced a lot of human interfaces. We are trusting more on technology now. So that's one thing wherein we are moving towards that. So let's say blockchain is one. We have to introduce DMPs also here. Outside of that, the most important thing is this, that the inventory that you are now getting from here, based upon proof of reputation, we are discouraging all the publishers not to bring in these things. Otherwise, they are simply caught and they are out of the system. And and at the same time, it is the advertiser who also has to basically help the system grow so we are going to bring in proof of reputation for advertisers as well as publishers. So they both are going to, start working in tandem. Currently, we are introducing proof of reputation for publishers only. So publishers, so there is a fraud tool at the back end, which is going to basically help stop all such kind of fraud. That's one very simple thing. Outside of that, these publishers who are increasing their proof of reputation, they also have got the skin in the game. They do not want to lose on the offers, and especially for the first time in the industry, it is coming directly to them. They do not want to lose on that. They want to take the opportunity. We have done certain surveys around that. So basically, so this is one thing which is going to solve majority of the problem when it comes to the advertiser running their campaigns. Garima, the next one.
Well, I guess we do not have any time left. I mean, we have to launch the product now because there's just 1 minute left. So if we could, maybe anybody, any closing comments? Manish, you haven't spoken. Debraj, Gaurav, I would love to hear from you. We should have you also speaking. So that'd be wonderful if you could probably. Yes.
Gaurav here. So I think the challenge here is that regulations and control always lag technology. Technology is always ahead, throwing up many more options. And, as advertisers and marketers, you are greedy to experiment and innovate. I think one of the challenges, like I again mentioned, trust building will happen. And in my sense, a great measure towards that would be a independent third-party tool integrated into the ecosystem, is used as a monitoring tool rather than choice, because not all of us will have the wherewithal to interact directly and measure it. We don't have large teams, right? So again, it'll go back to managing and working with the ecosystem. So total fee clarity, fully auditable supply chain, and transparent auction mechanism. I think if those are addressed, I'm happy.
I think Gaurav rightly covered up on that front. Also, because this is a new bar currency, and as you're gonna go ahead, I think it's a journey. So it's gonna evolve. Because from a conceptual level, it sounds very good, like Gaurav mentioned, because every company is at a very different digital maturity curve. Many of them who are at a high, they want to have control, meaning they have invested in talents and they've understood the requirement of investing in a talent. But others which are catching up to the pace, they would require hand-holding. So Gaurav, so Mukesh, any support around collaboration and bringing up to the speed, so that while it is about direct connection with the publisher, but education around what, where, how will help a lot to boost the confidence beyond the proof of reputation.
So my The comment essentially is this, right? I mean, at the end of the day, adpop.social is another aggregator with a claim that we will be, to start with, so we will be able to improve transparency, right? I would love to say, yes, you will be able to do it, right? Ultimately, how it works out, whether publishers and to start with advertisers actually go with it, right? And to start with, accept it is how well this is executed, right? The idea is great, right? How well this is executed, right? Only if, to start with, execution is done and the right results are shown, 6 months to a year, you will actually be established. To start with, you will actually be able to establish yourself as a big entity in this space. But execution is very, very critical. I mean, that is what I think will actually build it or say break it. That's my point that I have to say.
Okay, cool. Mukesh, I cannot hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, Garima, go ahead. You might want to just launch.
Yeah, I just would want to launch the product and yeah, so here it is. You can see it at Pop Social. We've just formally launched it along with the website, and joining is very simple. I mean, you just join. It's free of cost and free to join for both the publishers and the advertiser. Just fill in your details and then you could join in. And here it is as a new user. You could join up as sign up as a publisher or an advertiser. And after this session is over, we have live demos for the product, and we could take you through it. And if you have any queries, you could sort of write to us at contact@adpubsocial, and we would be able to answer them. Contact@adpubsocial. So yeah. @pub.social, sorry. So that's the email address where you could shoot your queries, and we could also help you by giving you private demonstration of the product. Thank you so much to all the panelists. Thank you so much, Mukesh, Gaurav, Debraj, and everyone. Manish, thank you very much for taking time out for us. I would now hand over the session to Garima. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All the
everyone.
panelists, and thank you to Garima.
Thank you.
We'll be back with yet another exciting session shortly. Please do visit our exhibition space, which has over 25 exhibitors and some really exciting prizes lined up. Thank you and see you soon.